Hi, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for your time. I know that if you're watching it live or you watched the replay, thank you so much for tuning in to the Children of Mine Youth Center Knowledge is Power series. We have a special guest today, and before I bring him on, I just want to say thank you again to all of our donors and volunteers at the center. We truly could not do what we do without all of you. So I just want to just say thank you and give a huge shout out to all of our donors and our volunteers at the center. I'm your host, Shanika Ponder. I have been a part of the center for basically all of my life. And my grandmother actually founded the center about 40 something years ago. And it's now being ran by our co-directors, Miss Wanda, and also Minister Howie. And so I just want to say thank you all for all of your hard work. And also thank you guys for tuning in. Without further ado, I'm going to bring our guest on, and I'm going to let him introduce himself. He's a special guest that have been a part of the center for many years, and I'm really excited to talk with him. So let's go ahead and bring him on. Hi.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me? Okay?
Good. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Okay, so I didn't introduce you because I was like, I'll let him introduce himself. So introduce yourself to our people that are watching now or watch much later.
Absolutely. So my name is Sulaiman Harris, and I've been involved with the center since I was 6 years old. And I know today we'll get into some of that, but it's been a life-changing experience for me. Um, and it definitely was a godsend, especially with all the things that I've been through in my life. And I'm just so grateful and thankful to the Children of Mine Youth Center, and it's something that I will always carry with me for the rest of my life.
And I can honestly say, I feel like, no, it's true. I pretty much know you like all my life.
Right.
That is crazy to me sometimes when I think about it. I'm like, I literally have known you like forever, up to this present day. That is crazy, right?
Yeah.
And all
Yeah.
this because my grandmother founded the center. And next thing you know, like, matter of fact, I know you and your brother basically all my life. So shout out to your brother. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with all these wonderful questions that I
Yes.
know you got some wonderful answers for, and you're gonna get some great tips for everyone, whether they're watching live or later on. And also, those of you that are watching live or you tune in at some point, feel free to ask us any questions that you may have, whether now or even when you watch the replay. Just shoot us a question, even in our DMs or in our comment section. So, my friend, if you can remember, what made you come to the center and what made you like keep coming back over and over and over again?
Absolutely. As I stated in my introduction, I first started coming to the center at 6 years old. So we're talking about 1988. I'm 40 years old now. And so at 6, me and my brother, we were just roaming around the neighborhood, not really knowing what to do. So we would go in the woods or go play at the gas station or go throw rocks and things of that nature. And one of our friends, he lived near the center. We didn't know at that time the center was located there, but we were walking to his home and we saw these other kids playing, and we said, "Hey, what's this?" So we kind of stumbled upon it, which turned into a great blessing. And so we came in, and that's when we met your grandmother.
Wait, I know I do not mean to interrupt you, but I gotta ask this question. Are you talking about the Sharon Terrace location? Or are you talking about the location today?
We're talking about the old location, which was located in a section of Washington, D.C., Southeast neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
Sheridan Terrace. And
Yeah.
at that time, the center was being operated out of a 2-bedroom apartment. And so we used to come in the back room. One room was like where they kept clothes, and another room where we had games and stuff like that. But when we stumbled upon the center, we just saw kids playing in an organized manner outside, and we was like, "Hey, this is, we finally found something to do."
Right.
And the thing that kept me coming back more and more was all the things that the center was providing. So not only was it a safe place to play, you were able to meet new friends, you were able to meet volunteers from all races and backgrounds. We were able to get a great meal and take trips.
Sit on crates.
When you name it, it was everything. And, of course, at that time, Miss Hawkins was improvising as best she could. Like you said, we used to sit on crates. We didn't have chairs. But none of that mattered. It was definitely a better alternative to what we were doing. Like I said, we were pumping gas at the gas station at 6 years old. We were in the woods, breaking bottles, and, we thought we were exploring, but
Right.
at the same time, it wasn't nothing organized or productive at all. And
Right.
so going to the center allowed it to be productive, and that's what really attracted me to keep coming back.
And so if you could kind of define in a couple of words, if possible, when you were younger, what did the center mean to you?
Oh, the center meant everything to me. I would say one word was life. You know how in life has so many different components. So the center was that spiritual component, because they led Bible study and taught us about the Bible and taught us about God. Miss Linda at the time.
Yes, Miss Linda. Hi, Miss Linda.
Yeah. And then you had the nutritional aspect. And so at the center, you had a well-balanced meal, from a protein to a vegetable, to a starch. And so we got the nutritional value. And then the center provided us physicals, medical checkups, and things of that nature. Also, we had the social aspect. A lot of the friends that I'm still friends with 40 years later, 20 years later, all from the center.
Yeah.
Then we had the educational aspect, where we were learning so much wisdom during rap session from Ms. Hawkins and from the volunteers. And then we had the camps. We will go to the camp.
Yeah.
Then if you needed clothing, you got clothing. So the center was life.
Yes.
For me then, and it still is today.
Yeah.
It's a work that I haven't seen being done on a large scale. So it was like this unique offering that you couldn't find anywhere else.
Absolutely.
It's life changing for me, to say the least.
I love the way you broke that down, and I couldn't agree more. I agree with that 100%. All right. Name one of or you can name more than one. It's up to you. A fondest memory at the center. It could be something funny. It could be something serious. It could be something right in the middle. But give us a few of your fondest memories at the center.
Oh, it's so many memories. It's hard to pick just one. So I'll say that's come to mind. When I think of the center, it's hard to not think about the camaraderie that was built amongst all the participants of the center.
Yeah.
We have people like myself. I'm an engineer. We have people that went off to become politicians or law enforcement. So being able to still have these strong relationships is a big testament to the center. But all the wonderful wise sayings that I received from your grandmother, Miss Hawkins, is like, I love it. And so a few of things that come to mind is like, never look down on a man unless you're picking him up. Or another one such as, continuous dripping on a rock.
Come on.
Eventually wear the rock away. And it was so many wise sayings that was being imparted on us at such young age that still sticks with us.
Yes.
And I remember a funny story. It was during Christmas time. Of course, during Christmas time, the center always provided gifts to us and other children.
Yes.
This one particular time,
what happened?
Miss Hawkins gave DJ a cracker box. It was a cracker box.
I
And DJ was
remember.
like, I don't want no crackers. And he gave the box back. But unbeknownst to him and everyone, it wasn't crackers in that box.
Nope.
It was cash and
Yep.
other gifts inside of the box. And
Yep.
so that was a great lesson to not judge something by the outside appearance,
Yes.
but really try to get a deeper understanding of what's inside.
Absolutely.
So that was a great lesson. She put it on blast as well.
Oh, somebody said, I remember that story.
Put them on blast too, you know.
She
So
did, and she would. That's why I remember that story.
so those are, you know, the great fond memories. Oh man, such great times, great memories.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. Okay.
Man,
So
taking me back.
now, where did you go to college? Like, what made you, like, where you went? Okay, let me rephrase this question. Where did you go to college? How did you find out about that college? Like, what made you want to, like, go there?
So, like I said, as you, Shanika, I've been a part of the center all my life.
Oh, my
And
life.
was my life. So you can't really talk about any aspect of my life without the center being a major influence or a major part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was fortunate enough and blessed to receive a scholarship from the Children of My Youth Center to attend Archbishop Carroll High School.
Come on.
In Northeast Washington. So, of course, Archbishop Carroll is a college preparatory school. And so I was always one who wanted to excel and get good grades and things of that nature. So when it was time to look at colleges, I had a few conversations with my counselor, and we decided on a few places. I know I wanted to go to maybe Temple, the hometown of Philly. I wanted to go to Drexel. And also, there was a few local schools in Maryland, but there was also the University of Pittsburgh. And so I decided on the University of Pittsburgh, which worked out greatly for me. At that time, University of Pittsburgh had a program for minority engineering students called the Impact Program. Where
name.
That's where our company is named after, that program. And that program was so great, similar to the center. You know, like I said, I was just blessed to be a part of these programs. It prepared you for engineering. So, of course, you know, coming from the inner city, you may not be exposed to certain subject matter, you know, like calculus or physics and things of that nature. And I wasn't exposed to those things. And so the Impact Program at the University of Pittsburgh at the time allows you to get exposed to these programs before your freshman year. So that when your year started, you would have some type of familiarity with these programs, with these subjects.
Yes.
So I went to the University of Pittsburgh, held the pit. Go.
I know that's right. That's a great story.
Absolutely.
And also, I remember my grandmother like going to Archbishop Carroll and like, you know, always speaking. Wait, was that her? It was. I forgot the guy's name that was her friend.
Mr. Barber.
Yes, Mr. Barber. Yes.
Barber, who was a teacher at St. Andrews. Very instrumental in facilitating me to be able to receive this scholarship. So I'm thankful to the center as well as Mr. Roy Barber and his family for allowing me to receive such a great education at Archbishop Carroll.
Shout out to Mr. Barber. How you doing?
Shout out.
All right. Our next question for you. Well, you pretty much summed that one up. The next question was really like, how has college impacted your life? Well, actually, no. Let's talk on that a little. Let's dive deeper into that. Like we talked about how the center impacted you in that regard, but how has college impacted your life?
So it's all connected, right? You know, so coming from the center, being able to get exposed to different culture, different races. Some inner city kids, I keep speaking of inner city kids because that's where I grew up. in
Mhm.
southeast neighborhood of Washington, D.C., which get such a bad rap,
It's such a bad rap.
Ward 7 and Ward 8, but that's where I grew up,
Right.
So we can't select the family that we're born into.
Right. Come on.
Born into. And so those were the cards I was dealt. I'm born in an inner city and urban neighborhood. And
Come
so
on.
with that, there are some stereotypes come with it, and then there are some factual things that come with that. And some of the factual things that come with that is you don't see a lot of positivity at times. You don't see a lot of opportunities being given out at that time. So with the center, we were able to see things outside of the negativity in that neighborhood. So we were able to see different cultures. A lot of people don't even interact with different cultures and different races.
That's true.
In the inner city. But we were blessed with the center to be able to interact with that. So once I went to college, I didn't go to a HBCU. I went to what they call a PWI.
PWI, yeah.
And, so with that, it wasn't a shock for me because I had already been exposed with different races all the time.
Yes.
That I really enjoy college, being able to collaborate with different cultures, different races, and different upbringings. Because we all share in the differences of each other.
Yep.
Which make us more well-rounded and learn. So in engineering especially, it used to be maybe like 10, 15 people all working on one problem together, and we share and collaborate and learn. So it was a wonderful experience in that regard.
And when you just said that, like, that transfers over into like
the workforce. Yes.
Your workforce.
Yes, absolutely.
Like sometimes you have this one problem that multiple people are working on and trying to solve, especially in engineering. So yeah, I love that.
And so coming from the center, we had the different communication. We were already equipped to communicate with different people with different backgrounds.
Yes.
When I got to college, it was nothing for me. But I really enjoyed my stay at the University of Pittsburgh, the architecture, the new friends that I've met that I'm still friends with today.
Come
on. The center and coming through the Impact Group program.
Ha!
So my business partner, we met at the University of Pittsburgh, and that's what we named the business out of after the Impact.
Now, did your business partner come through that program? Like, I know the program is engineering, but through that particular program?
He's an engineer as well through that same.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Okay. So that kind of goes into my next question here.
Okay.
Like, so I know you own your own business, right? But specifically, what kind of business is it? And what made you want to start it?
Absolutely. So growing up, I came from a predominantly single parent home. However, my dad was in and out. And anytime he was in, because I grew up Muslim, and so anytime he was in, he would always talking to me and say, hey, you're the oldest male. You got to take care of your family. These are the things you have to do as a man. He's telling me this at 8, 9, 10 years old. I don't understand it at that time, but there's certain things that are being imparted on me. And so one of the things that I recognized at that young age was that he was an entrepreneur. He were able to create signs and draw signs. So I saw that he was able to create his own work schedule. So at times when he couldn't work, he just made up for it. So I really enjoyed that. I'm like, that's something great to look forward to.
Right.
Fast forwarding, I wanted to start the business because I noticed that when I was working for my employer, doing all of this problem solving and creating these great solutions, the credit always went to the employer. They would say, oh, this company did a great job. Never this person did a great job.
Yeah.
So then I was just privy to too much information. So I started to see how much markup or the additional profit businesses were making
Yeah.
of the skills that I was bringing to the table.
Come on.
And that was something that was just, done, purposely for me. But,
Yeah.
and so a lot of times out of 4 or 5 job experiences, I was always stuck doing the billings. So I see how much I was getting paid,
Yes.
how much the company was getting paid for me.
Right.
And I'm like, hold on here. Something is off. Something that's not adding. And then you had to like ask to take off and, do things of that nature. So I just wanted to have more control of my schedule as I saw my dad growing up. And I said the best way to do that is entrepreneurship. And I don't knock a person who enjoys working a 9 to 5. I just knew deep down it wasn't for me.
It wasn't for you.
And I used to come home and cry like, hey, why can't I just be normal?
Yeah.
Work a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And that inner voice just kept telling me that's not for you.
That's not for you.
Because as you heard interviews from like Dame Dash, other celebrities, it's like, hey, you can't really create other opportunities for others while working for someone else. And I knew I always had a passion to be able to create opportunities for others.
Yes.
And so one thing I take away from your grandmother and Children's Mind Center, she used to always say, this is not a job for me.
Come on.
This is my calling.
It's a calling.
And so when it comes to entrepreneurship, in my opinion, it's not a job for me. It's a calling on my life to be an entrepreneur, to be able to create opportunities.
Yes.
Because what I saw and what I had a passion about, they said sometimes you can know your passion by what bothers you, right?
Yes.
And so the thing that kept bothering me was I see a lot of talented people interacting with, but they didn't have a college degree.
Yeah.
Or they didn't have this level of education. I'm like, that really doesn't make a person. That really doesn't speak to a person's talent or abilities.
Right.
Or a college. It's put me in a great position, but it's not for everybody.
Not for everybody.
So an opportunity to create a business, create a company with my partner. Shout out to Anthony Hubbard. Today is birthday. Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday.
But it was to create opportunities for others. And speaking of the company, we are a engineering consultant firm which provides construction management. Of course, living here in the nation's capital, there's a lot of capital construction projects going on with the federal government as well as the local government. So we provide construction management. We also provide energy management. As you know, we live in a world where climate change is real. And so we assist clients to reduce their energy consumption.
Right.
Mechanism is what they call the smart building or the intelligent building.
Yep.
Which is called the building automation system. So a lot of your large buildings utilize a building automation system to control all of their systems, from their HVAC to their lighting to the security system. So we provide consulting services on that. And lastly, we also provide consulting services for emerging tech. So right now it's so important to stay abreast personally, but also as a business on the emerging technology. I remember before QR codes became so popular, I was implementing it for businesses. My brother has a business, the District Kings, which is a music production company. So instead of using, shout out to District Kings.
Come on, District Kings. Come on, Abraham.
District Kings, Big E is all the same.
Yeah.
But anyway, instead of handing out musical discs, we decided to implement QR codes. This was way back when. We're not talking about it now. This is way back when. And so right now, one of the big buzzwords is blockchain. Everybody know about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, but the technology behind it is blockchain. And so we're doing some things with blockchain as well as Ethereum and smart contracts and things of that nature, as well as drone technology. to be able to add value to businesses. So those are the three buckets that we really focus on for our business: construction management, energy management, and emerging tech.
I love it. And what I love also is that you have taken some of those skill sets, some of those ideas, and you brought them to the center.
Absolutely.
And that has helped us in a lot of ways too. So I'm very, very grateful for that.
That was so much fun to do.
Yeah.
I remember I came to the center and did a presentation on the what they call IoT, or Internet of Things, where you take ordinary things and connect it to the internet and be able to control it. And I remember I brought the Google Home, and the kids were telling Google to play something on TV. That was so much fun. And they used their voice to activate a light bulb or to turn the TV on, and so I just love doing that.
All right, that's so funny. I have a Google, and I call my Google my friend. So I know how excited they get, because I still get excited to use my Google. So now, question for you. What made you, like, because you've accomplished a lot. Like, you've gone to college, you have your own business, but what made you come back to the center? And I mean, let's put it like this: you've never left, but also you were in Pittsburgh for a little bit. But what made you like say, "Hey, I need to volunteer here. I need to come back"?
Absolutely. As I stated, you know, many of us cannot select what we're born into, or what families we born into. And so for me, I've needed a lot of help coming up through the years, and I received that help from a multitude of individuals as well as organizations, such as the Children of Mine Youth Center and Kiyamsha Youth Empowerment Organization, or the Metropolitan Saturday Academy, and the list goes on and on. And so it's kind of like one of these things. I felt obligated and indebted to come back, do the same thing. As I stated, when I was younger, going to the center, it was being able to observe these volunteers that broadened my horizon. So how do we know that the next generation below me can't look at me as an engineer and say, "Hey, I want to go into engineering"? So I felt obligated to come back and be a presence because of such great potential. You know, and it's just something that I enjoy doing. It's something that I live by, and that I hold dear to me. And it's something that I will always do.
Come on.
You know, so.
And also, we're glad to have you. Always.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So my next question is, what advice do you have for any kid, like at the center or just outside of the center, future center kid? Like, what advice would you have for them, or do you have for them?
Absolutely. I mean, I I consider myself a nerd at times, because
Me too.
I just sit around, and those things that I'm passionate about, I really internalize them. You know? And mindset is such a huge thing for me, because if you know it or not, everything you do stems from your mindset. So if it's a positive mindset, you're doing positive things. But if it's a negative mindset, you're doing negative things. So you have to be aware of that mindset. And so the advice I would give breaks down kind of like in 5 points or 5 steps.
5 points.
So the first one is you have to identify where you want to go. What goal you have in life. Identify that, you know. How can you pursue it if you don't have no idea of what you want? And I believe you can do anything you want to do, but you first have to identify what it is you want to do, where it is you want to go. And secondly, write it down.
Write it down. Make it plain.
Make it plain. So it's nothing magical about writing it down. It just allows it to keep it in focus. So you can look back months on it or a year on it and say, "Hey, I said I want to do that." And you can gauge and judge how well you're doing to pursuing that thing. If you've been slacking, you say, "Oh man, I gotta get on that." And when you write it down, be specific as possible. Put a date on it, because that's gonna hold you accountable, right?
Do a vision board.
Absolutely. So identify what it is, write it down. Thirdly, surround yourself with people and resources that's assisting you on that journey.
Yes.
And if a person's not physical available, get a book. A book serves as a mentor as well. So if it's blockchain or new emerging technology that you're interested in, you say, hey, I know this can be a lucrative career for me. Write it down, identify it, get you some books, start reading on it. Try to find some people that are in that field that can assist you. Number 4, don't get distracted. Instead of focusing on that obstacle, keep your eyes on that goal.
Come on.
There will be obstacles now. It could be health challenges, financial challenges, family challenges. Obstacles are here, and the Bible says there will be.
Come on.
Not there may be, but there will be trials and tribulations.
Come on.
So none of us are exempt from that. And so we have to stay focused on that thing. And I would say, like, if you realize this thing that you aspire to be never goes away and it stays in you, kind of like entrepreneurship for me, that's usually a sign from God that that's what you should be doing, And so really accept that and pursue that instead of trying to turn it away. I tried to turn it away. I couldn't turn it away. And so that was a telltale sign for me.
Yes.
And so lastly, point number 5 would be to be patient. They say success takes works.
Yes.
Success leaves clues, but it also takes work. So you have to be patient through that process. I know we live in a instant gratification society where you want it right away. You gotta take time. We've been doing this business now going on 8 years. And so it took time for things to develop and really get the traction that it needs to flow. And so those would be my 5 things. Identify it, write it down, surround yourself with people and resources, don't get distracted, and be patient.
Come on. I like that a lot.
And it may not guarantee success.
Yes.
But it definitely will increase the probability of it.
Yes. But see, the thing is, success is really using the gifts that God gave you.
Absolutely.
So success looks different for everybody, but as long as you're using those gifts and you're not wasting them,
absolutely.
Right? To me, that's how I define success.
I agree with you 100%.
You know what I mean? Like, because if I get success off of man, then I'm always going to try to live up to man's level of what success is, right? Their ideal. But if I do it according to what God has given me, right, then I'm going to feel so much more at peace.
And to that point, what are you passionate about?
What are you passionate about?
What makes you happy?
Yeah.
That's what the success is. If you're doing what you are passionate about, if it's taking care of goldfish, to some they might say, "Oh, that's not successful." No, if that's what you're passionate about, that's what excites you.
Yes.
Then that's what it is for you.
That's what you got to do.
That's what you got to do.
Yes. And then also people will want to be around you more because you're happier. Okay.
Yep. Absolutely.
Like you ever go to like a business or something, it's like, ooh, that person a little feisty today, right?
And I got another example, like I said, when we think about academia and school, I've always got the best grades in those classes that I enjoyed. Always. You can't tell me there's no way you got a bad grade in a class you enjoy.
Right.
No way.
How?
No way. So, to me is do what you enjoy.
Right.
Do what you enjoy and success will follow.
Right. I agree with that. I know this wasn't necessarily one of my questions, but I do have to ask because we're in a society where everybody's like, I'm own a business, LLC. But I don't think people really understand how much work it's involved to run their own business, right?
Yep.
Can you speak a little bit about that? Like for those who want to start a business and just like, I'll open an LLC. That's it. That's all I need to do. But there's just so much more work to go with that.
Oh man, I could go on for days, but I'm going to try to keep it brief. Because again, entrepreneurship is one of my passions.
Right.
So I would start by saying, no pun intended, but the hardest part for people with running a business is starting. A lot of people have great ideas and great aspirations and things of that nature, but for whatever reason, they're fearful for starting. So my advice would be just to start. And the traction will build brick by brick, step by step. But I will also say, Identify your why. Why do you want to do this? What's your motivation? And so my partner and I, we interviewed each other. Why do you want to run a business? Why do you want to work together? Why, you know? And so for me, it was like, hey, I want to be able to create my own schedule, take care of my family, and be in control of the amount of revenue that we can make.
And give back.
You know, and give back. Absolutely. My partner was like, hey, I want to be able to take care of my mother, take care of my family. And so our whys were not about money. What it wasn't even about us. It was about others. And I think that's what strives us. You say, why you say you got to know your why? Because when the tough times come, and they will come, your why has to be stronger than that tough time. You know? And so if you're serious about it, I say go for it. I say go all in, you know? And so I say, if you're afraid, do it anyway. What I mean by that is, I think his name's Jim Rohn. It's this clip that I saw on online. Where they was like, well, what if this happened? Well, what if that happened? What about this risk? What about that risk? And he says, it's all risky. You can lose your job tomorrow. You know, it's all risky. So it's no need to be afraid. If there's anything that you're afraid about, become more knowledgeable on it and start to put the provisions in place. So if you say, hey, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough money, identify how much money you need to live and see if you can get a couple months saved up. When I first stepped out on my own, I had 3 months saved up.
Come on, 3 months.
That's it. I had 3 months. I said, I got 3 months to try this. And I jumped out there. And then once the 3 months ran down, I had to go back to work. But guess what? I didn't lose what my goal was. So I became an employee for 3 years. I said, hey, I got my own business. Can I work as a 1099 independent contractor? They said, no. The way the conversation went was, are you making any money? I said, no, not right now. They was like, you living off ramen noodles, huh? I was like, yep. They was like, yeah, we don't do that. You have to be an employee. I said, okay, cool. Never lost my dream. Doing it on the side. I'm doing it on the side. When I get off that job, I'm still doing it because I'm passionate about it. Then an opportunity presented itself, you know, just like Martin Luther King said, whatever you're doing, do it. Be the best. You know what I mean? Jay-Z has a line, let me be great. Why be average? Let me be great. And so that's what I put in everything I do, a sense of greatness. And so the opportunity presented itself where they said, the client really likes you. They want you. They specifically asked for you to come back and work for them. I said, oh, really? Oh, really? Opportunity. Opportunity. I said, well, I'll come work for that client, but under these conditions, I'm going to work for my own business. That's when it happened. And that's when it happened. You know?
It happened when it was supposed to, but you never lost your why.
I never lost my why. You know? I made a rap about it and everything. You want to hear it real quick?
Come on. Oh, wait, you know what? Too bad we don't got your brother with us, too. Because I know he knows.
I'll tell you, you know, so like with all my experiences that I was developing on this journey, I was just getting inspired by a lot of different things from different places. And so, like I said, I'm not bashing the 9 to 5. It's just not for me.
It's not for you. That's not your calling.
Not my calling. And so I said, I'm just trying to make this moolah. I'm tired of these employers trying to be my ruler.
Oh.
All they want to do is use ya.
Come on.
I said, I spent too much time in schooler. Seeking days off like Beulah. Man, I tell you, that was it.
You know what? You need something to keep you motivated.
Exactly.
Okay?
I had that in my phone because you know how your phone got the little phone.
Right.
So I had
the way you spit it, though, it sounds like a poem, though. Like, I
yeah,
felt like I just wanted to go like that just
man.
now.
Don't get me hyped right now. It's getting me hyped. I said, I spent too much school to keep getting used, you know, charging 3 times my rate. I was like, no, I can't do it. I got to do it for myself. So that's
But
exactly.
I'm glad you know that about yourself,
Yeah.
right? Because like you said, at 9 to 5, it's for some people. Because check this out. Everybody has businesses, right? But who's going to work for you?
Absolutely.
Who's going to help you? You know what I mean?
Can I
So
say one more thing about that?
yes.
It's another one of those passionate things. I think a lot of businesses forget that it's the people that makes the business.
Come on.
So I'm huge on ensuring that the people are empowered. You know, like I tell people, and I love Dame Dash. Some people don't like him. I love him. I really don't want employees. I want partners.
Come on, partners.
I want partners. So people that I work with, I say, get your LLC, set it up. Let's be strategic partners. I'm not pressed for an employee. I just want you to do the thing that God has gifted you to do. You know, because you're going to do it much, much better. Pastor Keith Battle with Zion Church. I'm shouting out everybody.
Oh, I love that church.
He said, the thing that you're gifted with, you can do better than anybody on your bad day.
On your bad day.
Because it's a gift.
And it's nothing anybody can take away from you.
Not at all.
That's
Not
what's
at all.
like.
You do it with ease, he says.
Ease.
You do it with enthusiasm.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
You do it with great energy. My thing is, I want a person operating in that spirit, with that energy. You know? What do you want to do? What excites you? And let's see if it works with what I'm doing, and then we can work together.
I just want to add to that too. A lot of times, you know, you'll have some folks who'll say, hey, I don't know what my passion is. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know my calling. So my recommendation every time I hear that is serve, right? So if you volunteer somewhere, it will kick in. So let's just say someone says, like, you're volunteering, right? And there's a kid that needs help with math, but you didn't even realize your gift of teaching. Right? That starts to kick in. And then you start to realize, hey, I want to help more people. Right? And then also, let's just say you have, you're serving and you're preparing food. And it's like, you enjoy that. You enjoy making the food. You enjoy making snacks. You enjoy sending people home with food. Oh my gosh, I might like to be a chef one day.
You're speaking of a great element. Like someone said, the element is identifying, right? What is it that brings you that joy? You know, and some people might say, well, that doesn't make money. Who's to say it can't make money? We are in a creative time, which is the best time to be alive, where whatever you want to monetize, you can monetize.
You can monetize
the most craziest things. Like I was laughing with my brother because there are professional huggers. People that give hugs.
I didn't even know.
But you can monetize that. So it's like monetize almost anything. So I said, you just got to be creative, you know.
Oh, well, I kind of like that though.
And you can.
Some people do need a hug. I'm not
and
even
like the people who make the most money. The people who make the most money are people who solve problems. So that's another thing, you know. Look around you. What problems exist? What problems do you deal with? You know, and so that's another.
I wish I could tweet that. That's what Oprah always says when she hears something good that she wants to tweet that. Tweet that.
Yeah, you know, the problem solvers are making money. The creators are making the money.
Yes, I agree.
So
you speaking. I'm not taking a little collection for you.
Okay? Hey, we need the donations. Donations.
Still need a donation. All right. So let me ask you, why do you feel people should volunteer at the center or even donate to the center? Because you may have people that live so far away that they can't physically come, but they would like to donate. Like, why do you feel that that's important?
Well, let's speak to the volunteer piece first.
Okay.
So I think everybody has a unique gift. You know what I mean? I think people have a gift of presence. You know, just being there, you know, being able to look at that representation. If you're a black male, just another younger Black male being able to look at your representation. That's just one example. But people have so many different talents. Like I remember Mr. Bennett. Shout out to Mr. Bennett.
Shout out to Mr. Bennett.
Mr. Bennett, passionate about chess. And he came to the center and he taught us about chess.
Yes.
And I love him for that. You know,
I think that's how my brother learned. I don't know.
And I'm teaching people about chess.
Yes.
So you volunteer to be able to expose others to those passions that you have. When we think about what was her name? I forgot the volunteer used to come and do people nails and stuff for them.
Oh God, I forgot him too.
I forgot her name. Or you think about Mr. Robert used to come and teach us computers.
Mr. Ward. Mr.
Ward, absolutely. You know, and so that's the benefit of volunteering. As far as donations, you know, the donations really keep the work going. Miss Peggy, Miss Peggy, exactly. But the donations really help it going. Unlike other nonprofits, the Children of Mine Youth Center has a facility that, you know, has a light bill, has a, you know, electric bill. And so they don't make any money. So, you know, they need to be able to take care of those things. So that's where donations really helps out. And also the center provides scholarships. As I mentioned, I received a scholarship. So some of those funds go to those and other great causes. So it's really important to volunteer. If you can't volunteer, to donate, but if you can do both, wonderful.
I agree. Amen. All right. So my last question for you today is, what's your favorite quote or scripture you live by and why? And actually, I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in there a little bit. Not only do I want your favorite quote or scripture that you live by, but I also want you to give us one that Ms. Hawkins said that also stuck with you as well. So we need two.
Okay. All right. So my favorite scripture I live by is Proverbs 11:25. Says, a generous man will prosper. He who refreshes others will always be refreshed. And so that's something that I live by. As I mentioned, that I needed so much help from others growing up. So how can I not return that? And so that scripture has been something that I live by, that I hold close to me, and that I, you know, try to live by, live my life by, you know, refresh others. Never look down on a man without picking him up.
Yes.
You know, far as a quote that Ms. Hawkins said that I live by, and it's the tagline of the center, and that is, the cost of real love is no charge. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's like, if you are a believer and have faith in God, you know, God has been so good to us, has blessed us so much, has seen us through the journeys, through our trials and tribulations, and we've received all these blessings and help along the way. How can you not return that? How can you not, you know? And so that will be, you know, my advice, my love by, you know.
I love it.
And just, you know.
I love it. And you know what, and honestly, I can't thank you enough for like allowing me to interview you today. Again, Sulaiman is part of the center, still a part of the center. And so I literally have known him all my life, pretty much. And what I can say is that the person that you see today, obviously we all grow, and hopefully for the positive, and he definitely has. But he's also had that same character when we were kids. Like he was also always focused. Like you were always focused. You always knew. And like I can remember from a young age you saying, I want to be an engineer. I want to be an engineer. I want to be an engineer. You know what I mean? Like, and so when you went off to be an engineer, it was no surprise to me. Your success right now is no surprise to me. And my grandmother absolutely loved you and was very proud of you, as she is proud of, or as she was, I'm sorry, as she was proud of the everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just very proud of you as well, and all that you have accomplished, and the fact that you continue to pour into other people, whether they're part of the center or not, because our ministry is the center, but then the center's ministry is not just the people that are in the center, but
Right.
it's also outreach,
Right.
right? And so that's what we're supposed to do, even as a body, right? To not just, you know, help just the people in our circle, but help everybody.
Absolutely.
So I see that you are not just speaking it, because it's one thing for somebody to talk the talk,
Mm-hmm.
but like my grandmother used to say, your words say one thing,
Mm-hmm.
but your behavior,
Yeah, yeah, I hear that.
your behavior don't lie, right?
Right,
You
right.
say that all the time because
Mm,
it's true. You can
yeah,
say one thing, but your behavior is going to show the things that are coming out of your mouth. And
right.
sometimes when you say so much, but your behavior is not following that, people don't believe you. They're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. In the back of their minds, that's what they're thinking. Like, oh, okay, whatever. They're just talking, and it's just come through one ear and out the other.
Right.
But you don't do that. You actually show what you say.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So I'm very, very proud of you.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just so thankful for everybody that tuned in to today's special Knowledge is Power. We're going to have like so many more guests with a variety of topics. And we're just hoping that the Knowledge is Power series blesses you in a mighty way, that it gives you encouragement and hope and just some knowledge that you can, let it sink in, right? And then allow it to come out, and so that it could be a blessing to others. Because the one thing that nobody can take away from you is your knowledge.
Right.
Right. And once you have that knowledge, you're powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so that's what we want to continue to spread. That's the kind of love that we spread even at the center.
Mm-hmm.
So again, shout out to all the donors, the volunteers,
yes, past and present,
director, Ms. Wanda and Mr. Howie, and just everybody that has poured into the center, even the alumni that have come from the center. We love you, we appreciate you, and we just thank you so much for your time. And just look for more with this Knowledge is Power series, and we just hope that you come back and you join us. So have a wonderful day. Sulaiman, I don't know if you want to say anything.
You know, your grandma said, I think I've said enough.
She would say that.
I think I've said enough, you know. But this has been a pleasure. I really enjoy sharing.
Yes.
And I look forward to working with the organization.
Yes. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.